Hello, I am David Sauvage. Thank you for joining me if you are here on Sanctuary's page. I am trying to sort out this live stream situation, which is not technically my strong suit. And I think I have sorted it. So I'm here to talk about empaths and what it is to be an empath. And I see I have one viewer. Emily, that might be you. I would love any comments. 2 viewers. Comments would make me feel connected and present with you all, the 2 of you, the 3 of you. And any validation that you can hear me or see me as a comment would be great. Anybody? You can just comment on the video and I will know that I am here with you. Hello. Hey David, thanks for joining us. Hi. Hello. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you, Emily. This is great. All right, we're all set. Hi, Laura. Wonderful. So I'm here to talk about being an empath and to tell you about my upcoming class, How to Thrive as an Empath. And I thought first I would start by defining what an empath means to me. I use the word to mean somebody who feels the emotions of other people in their bodies. So that means that if I go into a room and somebody is sad, I feel physically sad. If somebody's anxious, I take on their anxiety. On the flip side, if somebody's joyful, I will feel that joy welling up in me. I am having the embodied physical experience of another human being's emotional state. That's the way I like to use the word empath. It's a definition of empath, and I think it's the clearest and strictest definition. However, the word has come to mean a lot of other things. It can mean somebody with a supernatural ability to tune into the experience of others. It can mean somebody who's just hypersensitive to other people generally. And I confess that my use of the word is not its original intention. In 1956, a writer named J.T. McIntosh wrote a short story called The Empath. And in this short story, he defines an empath, and this is the first ever definition, as somebody who's sensitive to other people, especially in public spaces, and who can see auras. Empaths in his original story also had the ability to track people at a distance. So if somebody was going 50 feet away and you had a connection to them, a feeling connection to them, you loved them or hated them, you could use your feeling with them to find out where they were. That was the superpower. It's a sci-fi term. It's a sci-fi term from the 50s. It is not some 500-year-old, 10,000-year-old word that has some fixed meaning. In the 60s, Star Trek popularized the word with an episode of Star Trek from 1968 called Empath. And that featured an alien with the supernatural ability to experience what the other person was experiencing physically and emotionally. In that episode, the empath touched one of these Star Trek space shuttle folks and took on their wound. This guy had a cut on his forehead. She touched him, and then she got a cut on her forehead. That was her empathic ability. In the 70s is when it first started to mean what we think of it as. An empath is somebody who feels other people's emotions. And the New Agers took on that meaning. Now people use it to mean sensitive, hypersensitive, gifted, psychic, whatever. So again, my favorite definition, somebody who feels the emotions of others in their body. So I am somebody who feels the emotions of others in his body. And this means, in the trivial sense, as I said, when I'm around somebody with anxiety, I feel their anxiety. When I'm around somebody who's happy, I start to feel happy. But I have an extra ability where I have learned over time how to empty myself out of what I personally am experiencing, tune completely into the person in front of me, take on everything that they're feeling, or at least the loudest feelings they're feeling, and fully embody it physically, to the extent that if somebody sat in front of me and I tune into them, my head will literally droop, and I will feel this intense feeling in my body, and my muscles will contract. I've learned over time how to read this muscle contraction. So I go, oh, this is sadness. Or even more specifically, this is grief, or this is disappointment, or this is shame. And the more I read people, the more I have this ability. So on the 14th of November, I am going to start teaching a class that I recommend, where I'll be talking about what it is to be an empath, and give you more about the origin of the word, the different ways it's used, how I feel other people's feelings, how I learn to protect myself, how I go all the way into somebody else, and what an empath means generally in the world, what I think we can do here as we empower ourselves. And now that I have 16 people, I would feel so grateful if somebody would ask me a question in the comments, and I can just talk based on what you guys are saying and not what's in my head. Anybody? Empaths, empathy, intuition, the relationship between emotions and intuition, channeling people, protecting yourself. Any questions along these lines? Or not. Hi, Yvonne. What's the biggest challenge you face as an empath? Thank you, Emily, for feeding me a question. I appreciate it. The biggest challenge I face as an empath is the need to please others. That is the biggest problem. And this is because when you experience other people's emotions in your body, the only way to feel at peace, it seems, is to make sure the other person is feeling good. And this creates deep cycles of codependency. So if my emotional well-being is dependent on your emotional well-being, then I need to make sure you feel good. And so I start to learn what it is that I think will make you feel good and act accordingly, even if it's to my own detriment. This is definitely the greatest challenge. And I would say it's also the only challenge as an empath that I have not transcended. I think I have mastered the art of blocking myself, of releasing emotions that aren't mine, and of entering other people fully and allowing it to flow through me. What I have not mastered is in deep relationships, how to continue the deep connection I have with somebody while separating from their emotional needs. This is my greatest challenge, and I only have guesses at how to do that. And I think the thing that I'm doing more and more is bringing awareness to it and sharing it with my partner and trying to work it through moment by moment, but it is not easy. You said you know how to protect yourself from it. I don't. I'm always exhausted, and I'd like to know what to do about it. Well, Sierra, that is a case-by-case question. But if you allow me, I'm going to look at your picture if I can find it and give you some personalized feedback. So Sierra Page, let's see if I can find you. If you are the person from the Met Cafe, see if you are that person. I can't tell. I don't know. Sierra, will you send me a link to a picture of you? And then I can give you personalized feedback about how to do that, because there might be a couple of you on Facebook. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to answer Misty's question. How easy for you is it to channel people? Super easy. All I do is I close my eyes, I open myself up, I kind of envision this energy that is mine leaving my chest, and then I either invite their energy in or travel into them. So I can do this with Sierra or with somebody in a moment, but it's not challenging at all. What do you recommend for empaths to do on a daily basis to keep their vibrations, energy on a high level? Thanks, Emily. What do I recommend on a daily basis? The most important tool that I have by far, if I have nothing else to recommend, it's this. It is consistently checking in with how you yourself are feeling. There is no greater tool you can have as an empath than to feel the feelings that you feel. The most common question I get is, how do I separate out my feelings from another person's feelings? And there can be no doing that unless you are tuned in with your own feelings enough that you have a familiarity with them. So the more regularly you ask yourself, what am I feeling? The greater your ability to separate yourself from other people, and the greater your ability to channel other people. So if you dream stuff and it happens, and if you feel the energy, how do you leer to keep it in control and not pick up their negative? Yvonne, will you do me a favor and will you revise that question? I didn't follow. Do you read cards? Emily, I would like to read, Emily Brewer, I would like to read cards, but I do not really read cards. I have the Wild Unknown deck that I've been trying to learn, but I'm an amateur, if that. Let's see. Any other questions? Sierra, I'm still waiting for your picture. Wonder how you could get it to me. If you felt comfortable, you could just put the comment in and I could click on it. How do you maintain healthy boundaries with people as you do readings? I do not maintain healthy boundaries with people as I do readings. I eliminate the boundaries. So I take off my necklace, I empty myself out, and I enter them fully. There are people where I feel like a no trespassing sign is in them, and I won't push past it. So when I'm doing a reading, I go completely into the person. I eliminate the boundary. Some cases, it's not safe to do that, and I've gotten better at knowing when it's not safe, and I don't do it then. So it's really a matter of knowing who to enter and channel, more so than it is keeping yourself safe when you enter. If somebody invites you in, and I don't just mean if they say, hey, you can come in, it's fine. I mean if you know on a deep level that it's okay, no matter what they're saying, then go all the way. Your horoscope was spot on for me today. Interesting. I can't put photos in live chats, but Sierra, you could put just a link to a photo, just put the link and I'll click on it. Is it hard for you to go out in public as it is for me? No, Misty, it's for some reason it's not hard for me to go out in public. And that's not to say that something is right with me. I might not be as sensitive as you are. I've not had so much trouble going out in public. I do sometimes have to shield myself from other people. So by that I mean I will envision a bubble encircling me, and then people's energy cannot invade the bubble. I will also do what most people do and just tune out. Can you channel me? Just curious. Yes, Tracy, I can channel anybody to an extent. I don't know if I could see your gifts. The way I channel is I'm primarily taking on people's emotions. I experience people's emotions in terms of what they're feeling now, what they're feeling generally, what they're feeling on a deep level. But by looking at a picture, I can often tell a lot about a person beyond the emotional realm. And to do that, I just need to see a picture where I can see somebody's eyes. Emily Brewer, will you channel me? Whoever sends me a link to a picture that I can click on where I can see somebody's eyes, I will channel. What do you do to develop your ability to channel? Thanks, Haley, for that question. What do I do to develop my ability to channel? For me, it was mostly about clearing everything that was in the way of me channeling in order for me to be able to channel. Channeling is what can happen to you once you have cleared enough stuff out of the way. Other things that I've heard about the ability to channel is that you can really ask for it. There's a channel that I know named Paul Selig, and Paul literally prayed to God for his body to be taken over by divine energy, and something like that happened, and now he channels supernatural beings, which I do not. I do not channel supernatural beings, but I don't doubt it. You use my profile picture. Can you send me a link to your, I just want to click on a single link. I don't want to have to search around. My profile pic shows me very recent. I need a link. I don't have to type anything. What tools, if any, do you recommend for practices inviting in positive energy? Crystals, sage. Sage is great. I just partook in an ayahuasca ceremony recently, and I had Palo Santo spread around me. That was really good. I have used sage in the past. I also, what else do I do? In the morning after I meditate, I go like this, and I say to myself, I hereby call back everything that is of me and belongs to me. And I bring back all of the energy that I have left scattered everywhere and pull it back into my own body. And I'm inviting myself back, and that makes me feel stronger. What do you do? Cedar, kupal, sweetgrass. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's a link somewhere, but it's not working. Challenging, this link problem. Do you have any recommendations for people looking to develop a meditation practice? Yeah. First, I meditate every day, 30 minutes every morning. And I love it. I don't actually love it. That's not true. I don't love doing it, but I love what it does. And the way I got to be able to meditate 30 minutes every day was by meditating 1 minute every day, and then 2 minutes every day, and then 4 minutes every day. And then when that felt too long, going back to 2 minutes every day. So I'm a big believer, me personally, in consistency over depth, consistency over time. So take it really slow, do whatever the least amount is that you can do, and do that consistently. And then you'll start to see it builds like a muscle. Sorry, I don't know why it went twice. Do you have any other questions? Questions, comments, thoughts? I still am happily willing to channel. I wonder why I haven't been able to get anybody to send me a picture. Interesting. By the way, this is extremely self-conscious making because I have to look at my face, and I'm not a big fan of that. How did you discover that you were an empath? Thanks, Emily. How did I discover I was an empath? Ayahuasca. What helped me discover that I was an empath. I was really depressed, and I went to ceremony after ceremony to work on my depression. For those of you who don't know, ayahuasca is a plant medicine that originates in the Amazon that is a very intense experience that can help you heal emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually, and physically. And in ceremony after ceremony, I got the message that what was causing my depression was quote unquote other people. I had absorbed the energy of other people, literally the emotions of other people. And I let go of these emotions through a lot of hard work. And at some point, I had let go of all of these emotions, and I was able to feel everything that was happening around me. And I don't remember where I came across the word empath, but I'm sure it was around then when I was like, ooh, I'm feeling everyone's feelings. What is this? Thank you, Misty. Can you share some stories of particularly resonant experiences of doing readings? Yeah. So I did this show. 1 second, don't go anywhere. I did this show a couple weeks ago in New York. Intuitive readings as performance art at a gallery on the Lower East Side. And it was a great experience. And there were some amazing readings. I'll give you one. Was a woman sat down, and I felt into her, and I felt an extreme discomfort with my own body. I wanted to jump out of my skin. It felt like this, get me out of here, get me out of here. And I'm literally saying to this woman, get me out of here. I want to get out of my skin. I can't stand it in here. And I talked about that feeling, and I talked to her about the importance of feeling that feeling and accepting that feeling, not trying to push that feeling down. It's nice to have your feelings named. I feel trapped in my body. I feel really uncomfortable physically. I want to get out of here. And when I opened my eyes, she gave me this look and she said, did you know I was trans? No, I did not know she was trans. And she said that she had just gotten her surgery a few months before. And it was apparent from my reading and from her reaction to it that this profound discomfort that she had felt in her own body was still with her. And that was a really powerful moment. I can tell you're very blessed. How do you put in a link? Can't you just link www.something.com? See? There, I just put in a link. Yeah, just literally go www, put in a link here.com. So just take your picture and link to it somehow. Is that possible? Am I asking too much? Maybe link to your profile? Any other questions? Can't you see my eyes? Misty, I can kind of see your eyes. Okay, Misty, I'm going to see if I can find you. Misty Lynn Wagner. Misty Lynn Wagner. Forest flower. I can see your eyes. Ooh. Intense. Okay. All right, Misty. I want to confirm you that this is you. You make sure that that's you, Misty. What has been your favorite experience working as a healer? My favorite experience working as a healer. Well, truthfully, this show is my favorite experience. I love doing this. And the reason I love doing this was because, as you see there at the bottom, it says experience the supernatural. I love the magic element. I love healing, but I also love the magic of it. And part of the healing that I want to bring to this world is cultural. Personal, of course, too. But what I'm offering is publicly the underlying truth that we are capable of receiving information in ways we haven't currently made sense of. And I'm owning that ability in myself and inviting others to own it in themselves. And for all the people out there who are skeptical or unwilling or afraid of engaging in the subtler arts of interpersonal magic, I'm happy to show them that it's real and it's beautiful and it's interesting and fun. And I think the world will be a much more beautiful place if we accept and revel in the fact that magic is real. And my show is a part of that. So I'm going to tell you again about my upcoming class. And it's through the Evolver Learning Labs. And Sanctuary has posted it on their site. You can find it through Sanctuary's Facebook page. And if they haven't, I'm sure they will momentarily. They are wonderful partners with us here in putting this together. The class is called How to Thrive as an Empath. And I'll be going through what an empath is, different definitions, different ways to think about the idea, how to protect yourself as an empath, how to fully embrace your empathic abilities and take on everything of another person. Go all the way into it, which I'm really excited to teach. And then we'll be talking about the empath's role in society. Why are we here? And what are we supposed to do? And how do we own our empathic abilities fully? And what would it mean for a culture to embrace it? And I've written an article, interestingly, called Empaths Unite on Reality Sandwich, which you can check out if you go to realitysandwich.com, inviting us all as empaths to get together and gather and start to work on our powers together. But mostly I invite you to sign up for the class through Sanctuary. And if you do it by tomorrow midnight, ideally just do it now, but if you do it by tomorrow midnight, it's $25 less than it will be after tomorrow midnight. Any last questions? Oh, there's a lot more. Oh, Sanctuaries, put it in the comments. Thank you, Sanctuary. I worked so long, so hard, it's a new kind of tarot. Oh, you guys are having a good communication. Okay, so that is you, Misty. So I'm going to use this picture of Misty that I've linked to. Here, I'll send it to everyone so you guys can click on it and see what it is I'm seeing. And that's Misty, and I'm going to give a reading for you, Misty. I'm clicking over to your picture. And let's say, first I'm going to say the things that we can all see about you, Misty. That you, there's a knowingness to you. This is what anyone who knows you would know. You even have captioned yourself witch, and there's an awareness of the supernatural in you. This is not a psychic or intuitive reading. This is demonstrable. I'm just pointing out the obvious, and I see the obvious as well. And to go deeper, let's start. So I'll take you guys through my process as I read Misty. First, you can't see me, so I'm going to go back a little bit. I always sit, no, I'm not going to be able to show you because my room is too messy, but I always sit cross-legged. When I do readings, I sit cross-legged. And maybe you can see a little bit. That's me sitting cross-legged. My back is straight. And then, if they're in front of me, as a real human being, I close my eyes and I take their hand. And that's what I use to tune in. In Misty's case, because I'm looking at a picture, I'm going to actually physically put my hand on the picture. This helps me to tune in. And then I empty myself of what's not relevant here, and then I tune in. And I'm going to start by tuning into how Misty felt when this exact picture was taken, which is the easiest place for me to be, how the person feels in the here and now. And in the here and now, in this picture, is when this picture was taken. And she felt like this, and I can feel two things. I can feel like I'm tight in the chest, I'm tense, and I'm insecure, and yet there's still something about me that feels sweet and positive, even as I feel insecure. And that's how Misty was in that picture. There was a genuine glow coming through all of these layers of insecurity, but the primary feeling was one of feeling insecure. And now I'm going to go below the level of this picture into how I feel Misty is feeling generally. And now you can see, I don't know what you can see based on the angle, but I'll look so you can see it with me. It's like this. It's really tense in there. And I have the feeling as I'm doing this that I'm going through a grind. This is difficult, and I'm exhausted, and it's trying. I have the feeling that it's very trying to be Misty. And then I can go one level deeper, and I'm starting to feel resistance as I do it. Like, does Misty really, truly want me to see this deep? And I'm going to do it because I feel like she might. She does, but I feel a little bit of a caution flag, especially since we're online. I'll bet you if Misty's texted, she said go for it. That she hasn't. So, Misty, on a deep level, there's a lot of sadness there. That's what's underneath that feeling of trying really hard. You might be trying to push that sadness down, be afraid of that sadness, like resisting the sadness. But really, there's a lot of sadness. And I can go further into the source of that sadness, but now it doesn't feel like the place. So I'll go even beyond that, which does feel safe, into who I feel you are really at your core. And you'll see as I do that, my body opens up like this. And here's the witch part of you, in the sense you're using the word, not the way the culture uses it. At your core, you are deeply connected to the supernatural. I would probably have used the word cosmic if I hadn't seen the word witch. That supernatural is probably not the word I would have used. I was influenced by the word witch. My experience in my body is this desire to connect with what is beyond me. And the way I experience this is you see my head goes back, and it's as if I'm asking for God or asking for divine guidance. And it's not just that I'm surrendering to it. I'm doing more than surrendering to it. I'm begging for it. I want more of it. So in Misty's core is this deep need to transcend her own experience here on Earth and to connect with the cosmic. That might sound really general and common, and it might be quite common for people on this chat, but it's actually not that common. Most people are not here on this earth as I experience them in their bodies to have deep connections with the divine. A lot of people are here to have fun or enjoy a sense of wonder or play around or radiate love. These are sort of different core emotional missions. And Misty seems to be to connect deeply with the cosmic. Misty, feel free in the comments to say whether that felt true or false or half true. Part of my practice is to be totally open to feedback and to acknowledge that I am not perfect and just doing my best. And as Misty does that, I would welcome any one last question. And hi, Deborah from Las Vegas. Thanks for tuning in to Facebook Live. I'd also welcome any feedback on this Facebook Live if you wanted to message me or tell me what you think I could do better. This is a medium that I'm really excited about. I like doing this stuff, and I want to get better at it. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Misty, I'd be so curious to hear from you. Hello, Wendy. No. Okay, well, it looks like Misty will not have responded by the time I sign off. But I just want to thank all of you for tuning in here and watching. And if you scroll up on the comments, you can see Sanctuary has posted a link to the class that I will be teaching. And I'm going to post it here at the bottom as well. There it is. And I hope you guys will sign up. And it will be a pleasure to teach. And thank you so much for watching. Be wonderful. Bye.